what's up? It's John Samuel, and welcome to All Access Live. Today we have one of my new friends, Alyssa Steele, who is the Director of Events at the Foundation for Fighting Blindness. And Alyssa and I met just a month or two ago, actually maybe more now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have her here today.
Thanks so much for having me, John.
Awesome. I know, I guess, yeah, we got to meet when? Was it before the holidays?
Yeah, I think so. I think we hopped on a Zoom call and then, we were finally able to meet in person with, some restrictions easing. So
Yes.
that was just about a month ago, I think.
Yeah, that's super exciting. So, well, welcome. And you're new to the Triangle, right?
Yeah,
Ish?
so I moved here in February of 2020. So, just
Oh,
about 3
wow.
weeks before everything shut down. So yeah, now that things are starting to open up a little bit, we've got to explore and, try out new restaurants and places, which is great. So
Oh, that's great. And one of the things that you came here for Foundation Fighting Blindness, is that right? Or
yeah. So I moved here. I was living in Charleston, South Carolina, and we ended up moving here for this position. So it was really, it was an interesting time to start a new role, especially in fundraising events,
yeah,
given the COVID situation. But it's been a really wonderful experience.
that's awesome. And so, can you tell us a little bit about the foundation?
Yeah, so the Foundation Fighting Blindness, our mission is to drive research to find treatments, preventions, and cures for blinding retinal diseases. So we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary this
Oh, wow.
year. So it's a really exciting time. So we, work with top researchers around the country to try and find, get involved in clinical trials to, really move the mission forward and, create some change.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's it's amazing. Like, I didn't realize it was 50 years, old.
Mhm.
That's really exciting. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, what is your connection to the blind community? How did you get involved in this?
Yeah, so I had heard about the foundation before I started. My aunt actually has retinitis pigmentosa, and she was diagnosed when she was, probably about 10 or 11. And so I grew up, spending my summers with her.
Yeah,
She's a kindergarten teacher in Columbia, Maryland. So
yeah,
I would go and, help decorate her classroom or pick out outfits and, things like that. So when I saw, the position at the foundation, I was like, this is such a great fit. I
yeah.
can continue doing what I love, fundraising and events, and also, work for something that is very important to myself and my family. So it's, just incredibly fulfilling to be a part of the team.
That's awesome. I mean, it's really exciting because I have retinitis pigmentosa as well, and so to know that this foundation is there and the work that y'all are doing is amazing. So I know you talked about what you know the foundation does, but like kind of, I mean, what is it like? How do y'all help people? How do you, I mean, what do you do? How do you help people? Like, and just a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have various ways that we're raising funds to drive the mission. So to
Yeah.
fund these, clinical trials. So one way that we do that, and particularly in my role, we plan fundraising events. So from dinners that we'll have throughout the year to our national program, the Vision Walk, which is a family-friendly, like 5K walk run, where
Yeah.
we work with a lot of people who are affected, and they raise, these funds. They volunteer their time, to really help drive the research. So that's actually what we're in our heavy season for the Vision Walk right now. So I just actually came back from the Orlando walk this past weekend, and then we'll have Atlanta and then one in the Triangle.
That's awesome. So I definitely want to talk about the one in the Triangle, but how was it in Orlando?
It was really wonderful. I think people are just so excited to be back in person.
Yeah.
So we had, a great turnout. We had our chapter president, Dan Day, spoke there, and he's just such a great guy.
Mm.
And I think, it was that sense of community. I think that we've all missed so much over the past couple of years that you don't necessarily get in a virtual
Yeah.
environment. So it was, really wonderful to get together to walk with everyone, just to celebrate the work that they've done over the past 2 years, fundraising in a virtual environment, and now finally back together again.
That's really exciting. I think the last time I participated in 2018 or 2019. I want to I want to say. But it was super exciting, and I owe you a picture because there's this picture that I use quite a bit. It's a picture of my dad and holding my son's hand and me holding his other hand, and it's the three of us. And someone got this really great picture, and it has the Vision Walk T-shirts, and
Oh, yeah.
and that's what you see on the backs. You see it on my son, you see it on my dad, and then I have a backpack, but you can see my cane. And that walk was really special to me because my whole family came out, and for years, folks who know my story, I didn't disclose my disability for, I didn't talk about it. I wasn't open about it for like 17 years. And so to be able to, and even from a cultural perspective, it was challenging for my parents to even like and my mom in particular, seeing me with a cane. And so, to be able to have my family there and have that picture, it was really it's very sweet to me. It means a lot to me. And that was like the first time that my mom, my dad, and we were all wearing the shirt and we were representing, and that was our community. So we were super excited.
Yes, you have to send that to
I
me.
will.
And I think that's a great, thing that the Vision Walk does is, it is so many people who form teams that are affected or have a loved one who are affected. And, oftentimes they might not know anyone else who,
Yeah.
has, whether it's RP or Stargardt's disease. The walk really creates a community to make you feel a little less, siloed in what you're going through, and helps connect you with others that are right in your community, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. I'm born and raised here, and I didn't know anyone else with RP. I felt so isolated and I felt so alone. And it's so funny because I, you know, I, I was just blind to the fact that there's so many other people. I wasn't alone. There's so many other people right here in our hometown in the Triangle that living with this, and it's and it would have been great to have that about that community, and but I'm glad that I get to know now.
Yes.
Can you talk about like what can people expect and when is the Vision Walk here in the Triangle?
Yeah, so the Vision Walk, so this is going to be the 17th annual Triangle Vision Walk, which is, really exciting. So it's the first one that we'll have in person since 2019. So we're hosting it this year on Saturday, April 30th at Pullen Park.
Okay.
So it's right across from the Governor Moorhead School for the Blind in Raleigh. And that day we have, registration. You'll get food, some coffee, get a little energized before you start walking. We'll have snacks. We have, a lot of kids activities. We usually have airbrush tattoos or balloon twister, mascots come around. And then we have a short stage presentation, where we talk about for those family members who are coming to support their loved one and might not necessarily know about the foundation. So we'll talk a little bit about our mission, the hard work of those participants in raising the funds, and we'll all walk together in solidarity and in our community and walk around the park. And then afterwards we really encourage folks to stick around and get to know each other and build those relationships and those connections. So it really is such a wonderful family friendly day that gets everyone involved. And so we're very much looking forward to the April 30th.
Yeah, that was what I remember. It was a fun family event. There was people were grilling, they had the balloons, and it was just a lot of fun. I remember it was and it was very much a family event, it's funny because I remember even seeing there were signs for different like sponsors, like people who I guess donors and stuff, and I remember seeing people we knew, which was really kind and really sweet to see that too, right? And I remember the T-shirts are yellow. I think people were saying.
Well, we have brand new T-shirts this year. Everyone's very excited about them. So they are dark gray. They have a really great design representing our 50th anniversary. So we're really excited to debut those. But yeah, it's great. It's interesting, when you're walking around and we have these different sponsors, and you're like, oh, I see my insurance agent on there. I didn't know they were connected. And it's, again, it's just showing that even if you're not having an active conversation about, being affected or something, someone might know their parents might have AMD, or they might have another tie to the foundation. So, we're really grateful for those folks that come out and walk with us, and then of course sponsor the walk. They really do help move the mission forward, and we're incredibly grateful.
Yeah. So what we'll have to do is we'll post a link to the to the site, the Vision Walk site, and
Great.
then
Yes.
and then how we can. So Annie, if we could get that posted, that'd be awesome. And then also, because definitely how people can get involved, because I think this is a great event, and and like I said, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And what other kind of events and things can people look forward to over the year? The Vision Walk is a big one, but what else can people get involved in?
Yeah, so we have a couple dinners. In my role, I help with the events in the whole South region. So from
Okay.
North Carolina down through Florida, over through Tennessee. So we have a big geographic.
How many chapters do you have, or what locations?
So we have right now, we have 40 chapters across the US.
Oh,
So
wow.
and not all of them have a walk, but we do have a virtual vision walk component now, which is something
Cool.
I think was a benefit of COVID, is we were able to engage those areas where we don't have, a specific presence.
Yeah.
So in the South, we have about 3 big chapters that we work with. In Florida, we have 3 in North Carolina, we have Atlanta, and then we have Nashville. So we're really, really growing the market, as well as our chapter program. So from an event standpoint in the Triangle, we'll have the Vision Walk in April. We have a brand new dinner that we'll be doing in June 2nd, with Ashley Christensen. She's a James Beard Award winning chef in the area. So she'll be doing, a cooking demonstration, and we'll have you as our speaker. So we're really excited about that. And then actually this coming fall, in October, we're relaunching. We used to have an event called Barbecue Bash in the Triangle, and we're kind of revamping it a little bit, and it'll be called Taste of the Town, and it'll be held in Durham.
Okay.
And this is going to be local restaurants are donating their food and their time. And so the concept is trying to create a really, cool concept of an event that even if you don't know about the foundation, you might want to buy a ticket to come to, just to try out all these, great restaurants that are so generously supporting it. And then also to introduce you to the foundation, to introduce you to the mission, and, to show you why what we're working on is important and how it, does impact the local community. So we are still working on a date with that. We were supposed to have it this past fall, but, just with everything going on, we just felt like it wasn't the right time. So we're looking forward to that.
That's super exciting. How can people find out on the website, or how else can people find out? Is it just really just go to the website, or is there other social media or anything that y'all are active on that people can?
Yeah. So for the South region, we have an Instagram account, but we also have a national Instagram account too. So that is Fighting Blindness is our national, and then Fighting Blindness South is our local handle. So we also have local Facebook pages for all of our chapters. So we have one for the Triangle, so it's Fighting Blindness Triangle, and we have that for all of our markets. And, if you go to our homepage for the Vision Walk, it's visionwalk.org, you'll see the whole list of the 36 walks that we have around the country. And so if you want more information about a particular walk, it'll also direct you to their social media pages, so you can see kind of what other events they've got going on.
That's really cool. And so do y'all have goals or anything?
Yes. So we have, a very big goal this year for the Triangle. So our goal this year is to raise $125,000 for sight-saving research. So as of right now, I have, live updates always on my computer. We've just crossed the $42,000 mark. So we're doing really well. A lot comes in. That big fundraising push really happens within the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
But what's great is, let's say someone wanted to give and they didn't give by April 30th. Well, fundraising for the Vision Walk and sponsorship for the Vision Walk is open till June 30th. So, there's plenty of time to support the foundation and to support the local walk.
That's awesome. And so in North Carolina, is it just Raleigh? Is there, one in Charlotte or anything else?
Yeah, so we have a Charlotte Vision Walk that's in the fall. So we had that one in October at Sycamore Brewery. So we did the light rail trail in downtown Charlotte, which was, so much fun.
Yeah.
They blew their goal out of the water. Their goal was 85,000 and they raised like 140. So it was, so I think, just being back in person, people they were so excited to come.
Yeah.
And we got to have it at a brewery, which I particularly enjoyed, which was a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
food trucks and things like that.
That's
And
cool.
then we've had, walks in the Triad before. So, a lot going on in North Carolina.
That's really exciting. And so,
Yeah.
Pullen Park will be fun. That's a fun
Yeah.
location.
I had never been there, being newer
Yeah.
to the Triangle and never leaving Durham where I live. I went to Poland Park, and it is really great. They have, a lot of stuff for kids too that, we don't always have at our park. So they have like carousel rides, they have a little train that goes through it, they have concessions, and a lot of things that I think will make people want to stick around afterwards and hang out with one another.
That's super exciting. Well, again, I think, we'll put a post so people can learn more about the Vision Walk, but I'm super excited about it because, it's like I said, it's meant a lot to me personally, to know that there's folks like you and the organization who are working towards this. Because when I was diagnosed in 2020, or no, not 2020, 2000, I was told there was no hope, right? And it's just devastating. It's like, oh my gosh, like as a young person, because RP often is, it's, it impacts children, right? Like, again, at least I don't have too much experience. I only know my own experience, but impacting it as a child and being told there's no hope. And then it's like 10 years later, there was, they talked about something like gene therapy, right? And then now 2020, it's like, I had one of my last doctor appointments at Duke, and my, I was able to restore some sight, given some of the injections and things that they've been doing with me. And then, I remember my doctor just patting on my knee, and he's like, he said, have hope. There's going to be some really amazing things coming out in the next few years. And he's like, you're going to get more sight, which is so exciting.
Yes.
And
that's exactly why, I mean, like, meeting people like you who are affected, and, my aunt, spending so much time with her, and, it just, how could we not want to blow all of our goals out of the water and raise as, much funds as we can to move the mission forward? Because, I couldn't imagine being in that position, and, being able to be in a position where we're, moving an important mission forward, and we're, providing that hope, I think is so impactful. And it's something that I feel so honored to be a part of. So, I'm really excited to see, what happens with the research, and just continue to work to drive the mission forward.
Well, we're glad to have you here in the Triangle and as part of the foundation. So super excited to get involved. And so everyone, please, 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 check it out, learn more about Foundation Fighting Blindness, and, give hope to a lot of people like myself. So, well, Alyssa, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time to chat today. And it's been fun.
Yes.
And this is just the beginning of many more things. So
thank you so much for having me. It was great. It's always great talking to you, John. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and chat about the walk. And if we can ever provide any information, visionwalk.org is a great resource, or, feel free to put my contact information up there, John. I'm more than happy to connect with anyone who has any questions.
Yeah, cool. So what is your email address? Or how do you think best people for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, my email is great. You can reach me at Steele, and Steele is spelled like the metal, STEEL, at fightingblindness.org.
Awesome. So cool. We will get that out there, and thank you again. And for folks, we will be back in 3 weeks, I believe. And so a little bit different, but we will have, I believe, Mark Jones from Disney, and talk about my experience at Disney. And Alyssa, you just got back from Orlando, so we were just talking about
Didn't get to go to Disney, but maybe next time.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much again, and thank you, everyone.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you. Bye.